guys, Nick here. You're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com, a weekly live show about video games. We're proud to say that we've been at this since 2008 and have remained 100% independent since day one, and that means you'll never have to hear a sponsored ad on this show. So if you want to support what we do, all we ask is that you consider making our silly little show part of your weekly rotation. You can tune in when we record these episodes live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out. If that's not your thing, though, you can also subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast service, join our community Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, send us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. And that's it for shameless self-promotion. Time to talk about the latest and greatest in the world of video games. Let's get started. Alright, anyways, hey guys, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 870. It is Thursday, April 9th, 2026. It's our first show of the month, because we did not record last week. And, you know, guys, it's kind of a crazy month, video game release-wise, but there's not a lot new out right now. So tonight, I think we're just mostly going to talk some news, maybe a few light updates on the stuff we've been playing, and see where the show takes us. But yeah, I forgot
What's
to introduce
up, man?
everybody.
You
I
want
guess
to talk
that
about a
doesn't
show,
fucking matter.
Nick? You want to talk about a show?
I did want to talk about a show.
What
I got a show to talk about.
So my wife watched it all the way through first without me, and then she told me that I should watch it, and I couldn't get her to tell me if she liked it or not. She just kept saying it's weird, and I was like, that doesn't fucking tell me anything. And then somebody at work was like, I started watching it. That show's fucking crazy. You should watch it. And I was like, okay,
Dude,
a
this is gonna get you
recommendation.
in fucking trouble, dude. I've been in this situation.
No, I've told her all this.
You're gonna
You
name
can't,
a show
no, you
that's
can't. If she makes
that
a recommendation and you don't jump on it until someone else that's not your wife makes the recommendation, it's fucked up, dude.
If I couldn't get her to say anything other than it was weird. I didn't even
You
know what
never
the
know.
genre was or what the vibe of the show was. I started watching Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen on Netflix.
I
And
heard about that, I think.
that, first of all, I was under the impression that it was like a dark comedy. Show's like a fucking, it's straight up horror, and it's like dread
Yeah.
personified.
If you think about with the name, like it's something bad is going to happen in the title. Yeah, that's truth in advertising.
But that name kind of the name it's alone sounds kind of like, you know, jokey, like something very bad. Like you'd think it's going to be like a dark comedy. That's kind of the first thought I had. But no, fucking, I've never been more uncomfortable watching a television show in my entire life.
The
It's
way
like
I read
it's like
that title, it reads like dread, but
You're right, but again, I couldn't get my wife to tell me any information. All she could
Poster.
mutter was it was weird.
so it's like Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's like going into
no,
something
don't do
expecting that, and then instead getting something that's more like, I don't know. Oh god, what's even? I can't even think of what I would compare it to, but just
horrific.
it's. I mean,
Is it
it's very aptly
cringe?
named.
Cringe dread.
Yes, there's a lot of cringe. You know what? Actually, this is what I would say. It's like watching a horror version of Meet the Parents.
It's like watching a horror version of Skinamarink.
Fuck you.
I mean, actually, funny.
you funny guy. He's a
It's
funny
probably got some
guy.
in common with Skinamarink, but with a lot more dialogue and characters. But yeah, man, I'm 3 episodes in, and I can't stomach more than one episode at a time. Like, even if I wanted to binge this, I don't think I could.
Meet the
It's-
Parents is a horror film, though. Just
yeah,
so
but
you know.
like it's also trying to make you laugh at the same time. This is not that. This is trying to make you feel so uncomfortable at all times, and you know it's 8 episodes, and it's building to something very bad happening, probably in the last episode. But the entire time you're just waiting, and you're like, from the first frame of the first episode, you're like, fuck, this does not bode well. And it just never stops. It never lets up. I highly recommend it, actually.
But it seems like one of those things where it's like, you know, you can't, you know, it's like, does it feel worse than real life right now? Because that feels pretty.
I mean,
there's something
it feels
bad about to happen.
Yeah, that is true. But it also feels very because it's the bulk of the show takes place like isolated in the woods, and this family is like stuck together in this house out in the woods, and they're preparing for a wedding kind of situation. So it's very like detached from the outside world, at least so far. So I don't know. It's pretty wild.
I watched Nirvana, the band, the movie.
Oh,
yeah, that movie I associate with Chris Davis and no one else here.
What?
Go on.
I got a lot of recommendations actually from a lot of people, and it's really great. It's really great.
What do I have to do with this?
I fucking bought the digital.
He's already forgotten.
The bootlegs? What do you got? You got the what? Oh, you bought the actual movie.
I bought the movie.
Oh.
I never do that, but I wanted to watch it.
It's really good.
Deserved it. It was really good. It was really funny.
I also have a Letterboxd account now. Finally.
Don't even go there.
God. No, I'm following you, Nick. Don't make me pull it up. I will.
That's what I'm saying.
What? How would you rate A New Hope, Brad? How would you rate A New Hope?
4.5 stars. I texted my older brother today because I knew he watches like movies constantly, and I was like, "Yo, give me the Letterboxd link." And he is like, "I don't know. That's a little much. I don't know if I can give you that information." Like he was very shy about it. And
yeah, I mean, he's probably heard how you talk to me about my Letterboxd.
I made a comment about like some jokey comment like, "Oh, Revenge of the Nerds is probably on your top 4 or whatever, right?" And he's like, "See, this is why I can't give you the link, man. I can't do this." He finally gave it to me though. Do y'all want any deets? He watches a lot of movies.
You can tell me what his top 4 are.
I'm not gonna say. He was really shy about it. And it's because he says he hasn't changed in a long time, and he feels. I guess you could just probably get to it from my profile if you follow.
Wait, so you're not going to say it on the podcast?
Yeah, no. Okay. You know, my brother is very kind. I'm not going to do that to him. But I mean, he used to beat the shit out of me when I was a kid. So I mean, whatever. How cool is he really?
How cool can one be?
Well, I had 2 older brothers, and you know how it is, and a younger brother, and we all beat the shit out of each other. Let's see.
You got to give us something, man. This is a podcast. People are waiting.
The Matrix?
Breath.
I'm just going to give you one. The Matrix. Which, amazing movie. No, all 4 of those movies are great movies. So, but I won't say them
all. You mean, I thought you were saying all 4 of the Matrix movies. I was like...
No.
What? What happened here? What's going on?
But my most recent movie, I watched a movie called Redux, Redo. What do y'all like? Is it Redo or Redux?
I don't know.
I guess it depends on how pretentious you want to be.
It's well, this is not a very pretentious movie. I don't think.
Then it's like Redux.
Not time travel. Let's just say it's like a movie where some woman via a contraption is like going through different realities maybe, and continues to kill the person who kidnapped and killed her daughter, and she's traveling through different realities so she can kill him like again and again and again and again,
as one does.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the setup. Goes places from there. Well, that's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining.
Sounds good. I watched a movie too. I watched The Gorge, which I haven't know why I'm
done my top 4 yet. By the way, I just signed up for Letterboxd. I can't do it. It makes me uncomfortable. The Gorge?
Too much.
What the fuck is The Gorge?
The Gorge is an Apple TV movie starring
the one that came out like a year and a half ago or something?
Crispy's high school friend.
That piece of shit.
Miles Teller. Is that his name? Miles Teller?
Did I tell you about
did we Anya Taylor-Joy?
Yesterday? Did I tell you about Allison Tolman? Y'all know who Allison Tolman is?
No. Who's that?
I found out that. Wait, I didn't tell you
posting. I saw you posting about.
Oh, that's right. I posted in Discord. She's the woman from the first season of the Fargo, the Frances McDormand kind of.
Still haven't watched that, but yes,
she's in
go
a lot
on.
of things these days. Wait, y'all have seen the show Fargo?
I have. No,
I've even seen the movie.
I haven't seen the movie.
I consider the movie as one of my top 4, but I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable even adding anything to that list. No, I found out that like there was a very good chance she was in my 4th and 5th grade class in elementary school. And like the way I found that out was crazy because we certainly didn't go to the same middle school. We certainly didn't go to the same high school, but we did both go to the same elementary school in that exact same year. We're the same age. And she was like acting since she was like 10 years old, not like in things, but like in, acting school or whatever.
Stage plays and stuff. Yeah.
I was in a production of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where I played the fucking grandpa that doesn't get out of bed. I was just I was in the movie for like, I was in the play for like 10 minutes and I was the one who didn't get out of bed. And like, there's no way she wasn't in that.
At 10 years old, they had you playing a grandpa?
Well, they put baby powder in my hair. I don't know. I was like in 5th grade, man. What do you want?
Bed-bound Brad.
But like the thing is, I'm so old, there is no way I can like, there's no like, oh, let me pull out my playbill from 1992. It's
so now you're 3 degrees away from the Lord of the Rings.
Whoa, really? Wait, how is she connected to Lord of the Rings?
It's Fargo because what's his face?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Was in Fargo. He was in The Hobbit as well as Ian McKellen, who was in Lord of the Rings.
You lost me at what's his face, but okay.
Put it on my IMDb, dude. Add me to Cinetune Nerdle or to what's the one where you connect the actors? Whatever.
6 degrees.
6 degrees.
Bacon?
No, but it's like a daily game. Whatever, man. Y'all don't know.
know.
Y'all don't watch the Doles, clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly,
yeah. What are we even doing with our lives?
Yeah. That is a good question. I don't even know what we're doing with this podcast. Yeah, I didn't even introduce everybody on this.
I watched the
show.
Mario
I'm not
movie.
going to at this point. Oh yeah, the Mario movie. How's
Mario
that?
Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy. I watched it last week. Actually, I could have talked about it last week, but we didn't do a podcast.
We didn't do a podcast last week.
Dude, I watched it opening day. I picked up the kids from school, and I was like, April Fools, or no. Before I said April Fools, I was like, we're going to the dentist or whatever to get shots, or I forget what I said.
To get shots?
I said we're going somewhere. And then I'm like, April Fools. And then we went to the Mario movie.
Nice.
It was okay.
It was okay.
I mean, Star Fox was pretty sick. I mean,
I heard
Fox McCloud was pretty sick.
I heard someone describe it as they said like the whole movie feels like a post-credit scene.
It's an interesting description.
Like where like every individual scene in the movie is just meant to like get like a reaction, like oh, it's this. Hey, look who it is.
Nick, that is how all these movies have been since Avengers Endgame. Like
I guess that's.
But like, they've
all been built like that. They all like pause for people in movie theaters to stand up and applaud. It's
sort of,
absurd.
but like this is big amongst kids, and kids only know the characters in Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, right? So like, the references don't like mean as much to them because it's like, for all they know, they don't understand that Star Fox and Mario's universes colliding is actually unique to this film. They're like, oh yeah, he's in Smash Brothers. Of course, they fight all the time, or like in whatever, right? They got fucking Link in Mario Kart, Like there's people who are going to watch the Legend of Zelda trailer and go, that's that dude from Smash Brothers.
Wait, did they show a trailer?
Yes.
Oh no,
not yet.
You're just saying generally speaking.
There have been set photos that leaked though.
I did see the set.
Did you see this?
Yeah, that movie's gonna be fucking.
Looks
terrible,
weird.
surely. It's gonna be terrible. Can I say though, like the one cool thing about this movie, like it's a pretty bad like kids. I watch a lot of kids movies, and some are like I just watched the Hoppers one. That one was actually like a good kids movie, about the beaver. Whatever.
Yes.
This one is not a good kids movie. This is like a bad kids movie, but. The thing about this one that was also cool in that first one is like the music is good. Like if you have like even a little bit of nostalgia for like Mario music,
which I think most people do,
and Star Fox music, which honestly Star Trek like soundtracks, there were some bangers back in the day. It's like that stuff's cool, and they don't have like dumb license music this time like they did in the first movie, so that's a plus. But like. The story's like incomprehensible. It's like what it doesn't like. It feels like very like a movie that could have been like many different movies. Like they just keep editing it together until it made the most like sense.
I mean, I think that's just I think that's just a very roundabout way of saying what I said. It just feels like the whole thing is piecemeal, and I don't know.
Yeah, but like put together in ways that really don't make sense. Like it's I don't know.
Did your kids enjoy it?
This is not a problem that you have with other kids movies necessarily. Yeah, they loved it, of course. Of course.
You said it's not a very good kids movie, so I was like, does that mean your
no,
kids
no,
didn't
no,
enjoy it?
It's good for kids or whatever. It's not a good like. There are kids movies that are like out there that are good movies, but also kids movies. This is not really one of those. Yeah,
gotcha.
It's very manic and like kind of stupid and like confusing, and I don't know. I mean, Glenn Powell was Fox McCloud, and honestly,
really,
kind of stole the show, dude. Kind of stole the show.
That's what I hear.
Kind of stole the show.
Guess we dodged. Jesus.
All right.
Man.
Anybody else got anything they want to talk about that's been they've watched? Or people have actually been asking. People have been like popping into Discord, going into the feedback channel, and being like, "Please do a segment where you talk about TV shows."
Love on the Spectrum. Anybody been watching the new season?
No,
all right,
wait. He already did one, and that's stupid. I watched the first episode of series 21 of Taskmaster, and it's
okay. Well, don't talk about
with
that.
Kumail Nanjiani and the prize task. Well, no, the whole thing was great. It was one of the most brutal episodes of Taskmaster I've ever seen.
Brutal. How?
Highly recommend. It's great.
Brutal how?
I mean, like,
heartbreaking.
Yeah, like I think they put some people through a ringer on this one, and then are just like, nope, no points. Like
dude, I love the black socks and the shorts that Chris Davis is sporting.
Oh no, yeah, you can still hear you.
Oh shit. He's gonna come back.
Man,
with
what?
Some white socks. Sorry, Chris Davis.
Or no socks. All right. What are we even doing with this podcast? I was gonna ask Chris Davis what he's been watching, but he walked away from the podcast.
What's the name of this show?
We could probably guess what he's been watching before he comes back. Come on.
Guess what he's been watching.
Division 2 trailers, maybe.
The Good Wife.
The Good Wife.
Dude,
don't talk shit about The Good Wife. That
okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot. You and your lib fantasies.
Wait. What do you have against Love on the Spectrum? That show is like a really that show has a great heart.
I don't have anything against Love on the Spectrum, but you were going again, and I had something to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
there's some like amazing
vetoing you.
There's some amazing, hilarious people on Love on the Spectrum right now. Damn. Honestly, I feel like I want to cry most episodes because it's so like I'm so happy for these people. It's very sweet.
The heart of it all.
Yeah. Were we actually gonna wait for Chris Davis? Like he's the glue that holds the show together?
I don't know. Actually, for like 1 second, I forgot that I was hosting this podcast.
Why did he walk away like that?
Sometimes you gotta take a shit.
Oh my god!
Wait, he took a mid-podcast shit? We're
crazy.
literally recording.
Yeah, and I had nothing to contribute, so I went and did my business.
What the fuck? What have you been eating?
You've not been excused.
Oh, yeah, it was a quick shit. It slid right out, man. Prunes?
What the fuck is happening?
It's what happens when you don't have a gallbladder anymore, yeah.
We've been doing this for 800 shows.
You had your gallbladder
I don't think
removed?
anybody has ever taken a mid-podcast shit before.
Every morning he has a spoonful of liver oil.
Oh, fish oil.
What is happening? Guys, I don't even know what is going on with this podcast today. Where are we going? What are we talking about? What's going on?
I have a game to talk about, but like we don't have much else
we'll
to
get
talk
to that.
about.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. We'll do like some...
I've not been playing shit, man.
That's
Gameplay won't send me Crimson Desert, so I'm just going to give up and wait for Pragmata.
Crimson Desert is a weird game.
Yeah. Wait. We're gonna talk about. We'll play catch up on what we've been playing a little bit later. For now, Brad, you made us watch like every Star Fox promotional thing under the sun during trailer talk tonight, and I demand an explanation.
Star Fox.
Sure. Dude. There's info out there, man, about Nintendo's lineup this year. Some
I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay. Well, so this is why it's.
I believe one of the two things.
Okay. Wait, really? Oh, you should have maybe done some research. Wait,
no, I mean, I know
Ocarina popped up on what's it called?
No,
so
I know.
I was a little surprised that only me and one other person bid on the Ocarina of Time remake. So the original.
I wasn't willing to take the chance.
Sure. But let me explain, and maybe it'll be. A little
give us
more
some context
real.
To why you made us suffer through all those.
Well, so Nate the Hate. He was like the original person reporting on this, and who has been a very reliable source, right? For leaks, rumors, or like his sources have proven to be real, and it became corroborated by VGC. You might know VGC as the site. Andy Robinson, who also often has like a lot of sources that leak info. It's a semi respectable site. They were like, yeah, we heard this is true. So at that point, people started treating it as real. Like people who follow Reddit or whatever, or have been treating it as real. And it's about Nintendo's lineup this year. Like the first news that really hurt me, because I have it in Fantasy Critic, is that, and it is counterpicked for the first year. I picked it almost every year. This is the first year it was counterpicked, but 3D Mario, he's claimed, is being pushed to 2027.
Hell yeah, brother!
How can you push something that hasn't been announced yet? I've never understood.
Well, I mean, it's very interesting you say that, because they have this thing called delay in contention in Fantasy Critic, which is a tag that makes it to where even an unannounced game, the information that's backing it up is considered so reliable that they won't let anybody counterpick the game anymore, even though it doesn't even exist yet. So people, and it's a popular drafted item, right? 3D Mario, getting it on your it has such huge payoff that people draft it every fucking year pretty much, because it's been a long time since Mario. But now people can't even counterpick it, because you know how you can't counterpick a game that has an announced delay, right?
They're treating it as if
they're treating it like that. So there are people with this game that's not counterpicked, and it's protected. Like whether it's real or not, they essentially get a free drop when it's eventually announced, or even if it isn't announced, they can do a free drop if they have them like in our league. Anyways, so Mario's not coming, but the big holiday game instead is going to be a remake of Ocarina of Time.
Which, I'm going to be honest, I mean, I hope it's real, because it's one of my favorite games of all time.
It's certainly exciting.
And
but what does remake as a term constitute for a Nintendo title these days?
That in and of itself
spicy. It could be partial remake, right? In which case it wouldn't be eligible. I mean, I'm swinging away this year, right? So I'll pick up something on the hopes that it's a full remake.
Look. Ocarina of Time is such a important title that I don't think you can get away with just.
But they've done it before.
Porting
it.
No.
It's not gonna be a port. Yeah, it's not gonna be a port.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're gonna be like, the big game this year, the holiday season is Ocarina of Time, it implies that it's substantial. Like, people are gonna think this is the game that we've been waiting for years. Like, every generation since the N64, people have been kind of like, when are they going to remake Ocarina of Time? And the closest we ever got was a fucking 3D remake on the 3DS, and it was good. It's a great version of that game. But like, if you're going to remake Ocarina of Time on a new next gen quote unquote console, like, you got to go big, or you might as well be.
Are they using like Breath of the Wild as a base, or is it going to be more like one for one, like an old school Zelda game?
I wouldn't be surprised if they made it look more in line with like Twilight Princess than Breath of the Wild.
Twilight Princess.
just in terms of like, I mean, I always felt like Twilight Princess was like the closest they ever came to doing something that truly felt.
Yeah,
like...
but it's just that game is like the game came out in 2005.
I know.
Like,
I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're going to
9 years
model
later.
this after Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think they're going to do something that makes it feel a little bit
so like a
closer
Blue
to
Point
Twilight
thing,
Princess.
just like a graphical redo.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, technology and just the general scope of games in general has ballooned so much that, like, just doing like a 1-to-1 remake of Ocarina of Time would be pointless. It'd be like, it wouldn't be impressive at all. Like Hyrule Field.
You see that? I mean,
Hyrule...
you gussy it up visually. I mean, you make it
I know,
super
but
fancy looking.
I'm just saying. I think if they're truly going to remake Ocarina of Time, they need to like really lean into what it means to be a remake in like the modern, like,
but
what
it needs to be a reimagining.
Let me back up a little. Why does it so like they recently did a remakester of Metroid Prime, which was like really well received, and even that they called a remaster, and it was like they redid the visuals, like the graphics, right? But it was not like significant. But like that was very... No, but I'm saying like that was still a big deal for people. It was very, very well received. It played well. It got amazing reviews.
But there aren't the same expectations that come with Metroid as there are. I mean,
in terms of like Nintendo
Zelda.
prestige, Zelda surely sells more. But I mean, it's not like... I'm saying you could have like still have Ocarina as the bones. If you make it pretty, that game holds up.
I think the game will... I mean, look, you don't have... You're preaching to the choir here. I think that game holds up tremendously well, but at the same time, I'm saying if you're gonna remake it, you could and you probably should go bigger than just a 1-to-1 remake. A 1-to-1 remake of Ocarina of Time would by today's standards feel very small.
But did it feel small when it was on the 3DS? I mean,
literally, yes.
Well,
but
but I mean, it was like exciting at the time, right?
Sure. I mean, I still think
I'm saying
that's the
like
best version of that game.
I think there are various scales of what this could be where it's still exciting.
I know,
different levels of exciting. Like they have Nintendo has ranges of projects that are like
I agree.
Let me be clear here. The Nintendo, it being like a major holiday release is just like speculation. All we know is that this allegedly exists, not how Nintendo is going to position it. So it could be something... Like it could range from something like a partial remake to a reimagining, but like there is a wide thing there.
Yes, but I'm still coming at it from the perspective of Ocarina of Time specifically is like by many, many, many people considered to be one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
It is.
Like there is a certain amount of expectation, but it's not fucking the same. It's not the fucking same.
Okay,
Zelda is like... I mean, it's like... If they said they were going to remake Super Mario 64, I don't think it would be a 1-to-1 remake. And but I'm saying like this is why I fucking hate anytime a remake or a remaster comes up in any conversation, because it just by default devolves into a conversation about like what's a remake versus a remaster.
Well, I'm not really interested in that. I'm not really interested.
The only point I'm trying to make is that Ocarina of Time comes with a certain amount of expectation because it is a pivotal game for many people, and if you're going to, and people have been begging for it for years, and if you're going to do it, this like in the first full year a new piece of hardware is out, if you didn't go big, people are going to be disappointed. That's all I'm saying.
I guess my question is, what do you consider big?
This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like I don't know how else to express this. I feel like you're... God.
Do you think this is going to be more like a reimagining, or do you think this is going to be...
I think if the right move would be to make it a reimagining.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a 1-to-1 remake. Like if Hyrule Field is the exact same size as it was on the 64, I think it's going to be a disappointment.
Okay. But like, do you think it's going to be classic Zelda? Or do you think it's going to be like Breath of the Wild Zelda? Because I know Ocarina of Time is a big deal for you. As it is, a lot of people are.
I think there's going to be
Breath of the Wild sold way
What if
more.
What if it's a sequel
to Breath of the Wild? Like a Final Fantasy VII style remake?
That's Majora's
Let me finish the thought. It's a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom, but it's reimagining Ocarina of Time.
So here's what I'm thinking is that we're still years off from the next great big giant Zelda title, the flagship title.
The Tears of the Kingdom follow-up is what you're referring to.
Yeah, and that team is going to be focused on that game, and they're not going to announce that for at least another year, if not 2 years. The way I'm thinking about this is that this is probably being outsourced to a third-party studio or publisher.
That would be a mistake. That would be a mistake.
I get that. I understand that. Let me run this through with you, okay?
If this is a Grezzo joint, I'm going to be pissed.
I'm not thinking Grezzo.
It could be.
I mean, look, they brought in Mercury's team, and now they are basically the 2D Metroid developer at this point.
I know.
What I'm saying is that
baby, man.
Nintendo has a history of giving contracts to publishers and developers of big publishing houses like Koei Tecmo, like Bandai Namco, to develop on Nintendo properties. What I'm thinking is that there's a team at either Koei Tecmo, like Omega Force, or somebody at Bandai Namco is helming this project.
I think that would be
so. If that's the case, I don't think it's going to be a complete reimagining. I think it's going to be.
Y'all are acting like they're about to announce a Skyward Sword remake, and it's not the same. Ocarina of Time. The Ocarina of Time. I just don't think you can hand that off to just anybody.
But what about like the again? Speaking of Zelda, like the Link. Jesus Christ. The Link's Awakening remake was a significant, it went from black and white Game Boy to like a very fresh new art style.
Yeah.
But that was by no means like a reimagining of Link's Awakening. It just had it was a huge jump in like modern graphics.
I know, but it's also not a game that people have been dying for decades. I've been dreaming of a full-blown remake of Ocarina of Time since I was in high school.
I think what we're just saying is that Nintendo all the time, from like Metroid Prime Remastered to that Link's Awakening thing, they do different scales of these projects. And I think any version of it, provided that they put their heart into it, could be really cool. Can I ask you, which would you prefer as a fan of Ocarina of Time? Would you prefer something more faithful that looks beautiful, or would you rather have something that feels more like Breath of the Wild framed as like Ocarina?
Framed as Ocarina?
Personally, I would certainly hope it was something more ambitious, akin to Breath of the Wild, maybe not on the same scale, because Breath of the Wild is fucking enormous. I don't think they need to go that big.
A little more like gimmicky if they build Ocarina like it's a DLC or something.
Here's the thing. I also don't want it to look like. I don't want it to look like Breath of the Wild. I don't want it to look like Tears of the Kingdom.
It won't. I think that I don't think.
But I do think it's gonna have some DNA. Some of that.
I
don't learned from Breath of the Wild, maybe.
I don't think internal Nintendo teams have the capacity for this project right now.
Okay. Can I add to this story?
Please.
One thing that has been, people who follow Inside Baseball have known for a long time that ever since Breath of the Wild, that Monolith Soft has been assisting with modern Zelda games.
Yeah.
And the same week that we found out about this from Nate the Hate, there was a significant update to Monolith Soft's website where they went into way more detail about their Zelda contributions in the past.
They're making.
Oh, so you think maybe Monolith Soft is handling this remake?
Could be. It's been a while since Xenoblade 3.
That would be honestly, if they'd announced a remake of Ocarina of Time from Monolith Soft,
I think internal
I think that would actually be okay.
That would work.
I think that would be fucking great. I mean,
yeah.
I think they're largely responsible for like the scale of the world in like modern Zelda games, because that's the shit that they've been fucking with since the Wii.
Whatever they end up doing though,
The shrines?
I thought that's
You mean in
what-
Breath of the Wild?
I don't think
Yeah,
we
I
know
thought that's
that
what they were supposed to
much.
do.
Oh,
Okay.
well, did you read like the site update or whatever?
Did they,
I mean, I
did they
haven't-
go into
no.
that much detail?
I just could have sworn I remember something about them being responsible for the shrines or something like that.
Look, at the end of the day,
the part
at
we
the end of the
hate.
day,
We hate the
the end of the-
shrines.
Oh, I'm
At the
thinking of
end
the divine beasts.
Those are cool
I
too.
those
Yeah,
are cool.
Everyone.
Yeah, but everyone hated them.
No, I think you're just thinking of. I was accused of hating them when I don't.
The concepts
on
of
to
the
Star
divine
Fox.
beast was awesome. The actual being in the divine beast kind of sucked.
Everyone hated them, you guys.
They were
just say
honestly incredible. Honestly, I couldn't believe
it.
that there was a moving
Everybody.
dungeon
The
that
only thing-
seamlessly moved through the world.
It
and
was
I
a
could-
moving dungeon.
The only thing I ever said about the divine beasts was that at the end of the day, they're cool as hell, but they don't even hold a candle to the best temples in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
That's all I said.
Yeah.
they were giant
maybe that's
puzzle
true,
rooms more
except-
than actually dungeons.
But like
If-
puzzle rooms is what I'm here for, but like they weren't
But,
good
but
puzzle
let me
rooms.
ask
No,
the
they were
question.
sick. You guys
What
were
was
wrong. They
them
were
being
cool.
lesser dungeons? Like, if they were better dungeons, would the rest of the game have to be shit like Skyward Sword or something?
No.
Why?
Like, could
does
you have
that-
both?
Yeah.
Could you have both?
Why?
Like,
That's,
now we're
like-
in-
that's just resource management. That's not our job.
because a
that's
lot
their
of
job.
a lot of Zelda games pre Breath of the Wild were kind of dog shit out of dungeons. There was a lot of like fetch questy bullshit with dog shit NPCs.
I mean,
Run
I still
here
think
and-
Ocarina of Time is kind of the like the pinnacle of Zelda dungeon design, but that's just me.
well, no, it's Twilight Princess. But we can move on to Star Fox.
Well,
Yeah,
there
let's
was
do that.
there was sorry, I want to throw in here. There was one more rumor from Nate the Hate. I think it was Nate the Hate.
like, literally talking about
Well, I was
the
going to
rest
talk
of
about
his shit.
well, the Super Metroid thing. But okay,
No, first of all, Nate the Hate said nothing about that. I'll get to that.
okay, I'm sorry.
Star Fox was the big one. The other, I think, big one that kind of surprised people. There was a lot of like speculation coming out of the Galaxy movie, like, you know, because the first one had Donkey Kong, and then all of a sudden we got a big Donkey Kong game, and this new one has Fox McCloud, and are we going to get a Star Fox game? And then all of a sudden Nate the
Are
Hate's like,
we
yeah, we're
heading-
getting a Star Fox game, and what he said is that is going to be a classic style Star Fox game, which to me means
What does that even
it's-
mean?
Well,
rails?
it probably means it's going to be a rail shooter, right? Like
Yeah,
it's not going to
64.
be like
Like
fucking No Man's Sky or some other shit. Like it's gonna be a Star Fox game, I think is what he means. And
Oh boy.
the other thing he says is that it looks really has a very impressive visual. He didn't say style necessarily, but like it looks very impressive visually, which makes sense
Okay.
for a rail shooter in 2026, right? Like the benefit that you have of making a rail shooter is that you can put all your energy into making the levels look really fancy and cinematic because all you're doing is moving a ship around and shooting, right?
Yeah.
Since the beginning of time, they always looked cool, from Panzer Dragoon to Rez or whatever. Anyways, that's kind of exciting. I mean, Star Fox being back, it's been a long time since we've had a Star Fox game, and then that last outing was pretty bad. In fact, some would argue that Star Fox hasn't been good since
Ever.
Star Fox 64, which I probably maybe agree with. So, you know, some would say it was even born kind of iffy, right? I had the Super Nintendo game day one, and I loved it back then. But the truth is, you know, it wasn't like my most replayed game, right? It was cool.
No.
I loved the music, and I was kind of blown away by the FX chip, whatever, 3D visuals, yada yada yada. But I mean, some would argue that maybe the biggest thing that Star Fox has ever done was have his fucking up smash in Smash Brothers, right? Am I, you know, anybody?
I have
No?
no idea.
No.
Come on. The Fox McCloud up smash, it's classic. How dare you? It's one of those franchises that have it reminds me of like what's a franchise where it's maybe only ever had one amazing game, and even then
Star
maybe
Fox.
it's like
Death Stranding.
no, not Death
Wait,
Stranding.
what?
There's two games.
Like a
Two games.
And they're both good.
yeah, that's
And they're both
yeah,
great.
that's a weird thing to say, Chris Davis. I
I
don't
was-
even play those games, and I think that's
What you
crazy.
should have said was Metal Gear Solid.
Shut the fuck up.
That's
Oh.
controversial at best.
Don't open
No,
that
like
can
some-
of worms.
Something like a I don't know. I could think of
Who
franchises,
are we
but I
going
don't
to
know if
offend
you play
next?
them.
Castlevania. I'm just kidding.
Like a Wild Arms or something, right? Like people know
Metroid.
Wild Arms, but has there ever been a Wild Arms game that's like amazing? I don't know.
Breath of Fire? Is Breath of Fire maybe?
I mean, Breath of Fire, honestly, like a pretty decent call out.
Yeah.
Advance Wars.
You're just stupid now. How do y'all feel about Star Fox?
Fire Emblem?
So like,
I hate it.
I was gonna like bring it up. I was gonna maybe bid on it in Fantasy Critic, but like Star Fox games, you might be surprised to know that like also the only one that really scored incredibly well was Star Fox 64. The other ones kind of range from mediocre to bad.
The only I don't even know why, but I dislike Star Fox so much that even if they announced it and it looked amazing, I still wouldn't bid on it.
You dislike it? Did you
don't
play
like
Star Fox 64?
I did. I owned Star Fox 64, and I was also young and dumb at that time. Okay.
No, everyone loved that game. You were dumb.
I bet Nick did not have a Rumble Pack. I bet that's what it was.
What are you talking? Of course, I had a Rumble Pack.
Did you?
I can't even imagine playing that game without a Rumble Pack. At the very least, like it's just I don't know. I don't like it. Something about Star Fox just rubs me wrong.
The other thing he said though is there's going to be a multiplayer, like online multiplayer component to this as well. Which
if
makes
they
sense.
announce this and I get excited
what else
about
do you
it,
put in a Star Fox game in 2026?
I mean, it'll just be like they've always done for every Star Fox multiplayer experience. It's going to be an arena, PvP experience.
Like a dogfighting game, like your fucking Precious Ace Combat series. You have a fucking problem with that, dude? Sorry.
No, just calling out what it's going to be.
He also mentioned Splatoon Raiders is also supposed to be coming out this summer, which I think we expected that at some point this year, right?
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, Rhythm Heaven, he said was going to be this summer, which it just got dated like this week. And he's also mentioned there's going to be a Switch sports game. Yada yada, some like re-releases of like Pikmin and Xenoblade 2 and stuff. He did mention Dust Bloods is still coming out. It's going to be later in the year though. And that no 3D Mario.
Coming?
3D Mario is a 2027 game.
They just hadn't talked about it in a long time.
In the same conversation, he did mention that the Final Fantasy last he heard is the Final Fantasy 9 remake is on ice, whatever that means.
It means it's dead, Brad. Dead as a doornail.
What Chris Davis was saying about the Super Metroid remake did not come from Nate the Hate. And I will say the Nate the Hate stuff was corroborated by VGC, which makes it real to a lot of people.
Okay.
But it was in reference to a comment on like one of these posts where someone said predating this Nate the Hate stuff, mentioned the Ocarina of Time remake, mentioned the Star Fox coming back classic this summer, whatever. And he had other stuff on there that people are like, well, if he knew this stuff that we now know is to be true,
it lends credibility to the
other stuff. Yeah, it leads credibility.
They're credible by association, is what that's basically means.
Yes, but historically, there has been situations where you can't rely on that. Like the dude who created a Twitter account of every single like prediction ever and then deleted all of them that weren't true after E3.
Yeah.
So then when people pointed back to it, and they're like, "Look, he had all of this stuff true." Yeah, but one of the big things, like the other big thing I would say that he had in that quote unquote leaked rumor was that there's going to be a Super Metroid remake. That to me seems
what is
realistic.
that exactly?
Well, I mean, I know it's not as precious to you as Ocarina, but
no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like
well, so this is the thing that makes me think this is fake. Is that this leaker said that it was going to use a pixel art style, and that I call bullshit on. Like, who is going to make that game? Weird. There's no way they would not use pixel.
To be fair, though,
pixel art.
I think Super Metroid is as pivotal as Ocarina of Time is.
Revered, yes.
For Nintendo, revered. And would also, if they were going to remake Super Metroid, it would have to be substantial. For Super Metroid, they have to turn it into like Metroid Prime, I feel like, to make it, because there's been so many versions of that game over the years.
Metroid Prime bombs for them, and Dread did well. Like, if anything, I could see them
maybe make it like Dread.
This to but that's the thing, right? Like what makes this feel fake, the reason the pixel art makes it feel fake is because the developer who would do this is likely Mercury Steam, who's already remade a classic Metroid game with Metroid 2.
Yeah.
And then they made Metroid Dread, and those are liked games, so it makes sense that if anybody remade Super Metroid, it would be them.
I would actually be okay with that too.
I don't like that idea. Y'all know how I feel about Mercury Steam. Y'all know I
do.
like Metroid Dread, but I think Super Metroid, like you were saying, Nick, is something that should be treated maybe with a little more reverence and respect. Than
So you
Mercury
understand the
Steam is
argument
capable
when
of.
it's talking about Metroid, but not when it's talking about Ocarina of Time.
No, but
what I'm hearing.
what I'm saying is, to me, that scale is not something that is like
They're completely
a
different
Metroid
scales.
Prime style remake. To me, that is still like a side scrolling Metroid game that for the most part is, you're still going through like not 1-to-1 necessarily, but like I'm saying I can envision different scales of that, and you could still pay a lot of respect to something without it being like a complete reimagining.
And look, I'm not even over here advocating for them making Ocarina of Time into Breath of the Wild. I'm actually, I don't think that's the direction to go. I'm just saying, if you released it 1-to-1, I feel like it would feel.
But 1-to-1 doesn't really make sense. Like again,
No.
Mercury Steam remade Metroid 2, and that was very much not just 1-to-1. Like they put a lot of work into that.
Right.
But I don't know. Like reimagined as a Metroid Prime style game would be absolutely incredible. Like that would legitimately be like a dream come true, because by nature of it being Super Metroid, you can't do a separate areas separated by a giant boring desert. Like it would have to be an actual Metroid game, right?
Yeah.
You'd think. But there's no way that's happening, because I'm pretty sure Retro Studios or anyone's ever making Metroid Prime ever again. Yeah.
But hey, we got one more out of them.
What if it is like Retro Studios? I mean, they have made like side-scrolling. I mean, those Donkey Kong games aren't pixel art, but like they're certainly whatever. I don't think this is true. I don't think this is real. I mean, we can't treat it as real. So
we're spending a lot of time talking about something that we don't think has as much credibility. So we can move on.
It's exciting to think, but yeah.
But also like timing wise, like Dread was 3 years ago. I'm not wishing Mercury Steam on the greatest Metroid title, but realistically, the math
there are worse scenarios.
It aligns the calendars.
I mean, I think they're going to work on a Metroid game in some form.
Yeah,
which
I think
that's fine, right?
I think they've definitely established themselves as like the new 2D Metroid studio.
Yes,
whether you like it or not.
I don't like it. I mean, he said 2D Metroid Studio, not Metroid Studio.
Yeah, just 2D Metroid. But also, like, I think there are worst case scenarios than Mercury Steam handling.
They could be doing Castlevania.
They could, which they're not. All right. Real quick, before we move on, I do want to ask a few Dick Slicker questions.
Dick Slickers.
If y'all are cool with that.
Dick Slickness.
Again, guys,
Down with the slickness.
We're taking Dick Slicker questions, icebreaker questions, whatever the fuck you want to call them. If you're a supporter on Patreon or a subscriber on Twitch, you can find the link to the forum where you can submit your own questions for future episodes on at discord.gg/4player. For now, our first question comes from Wardog9000 from Vancouver, Canada, who is currently playing Slay the Spire 1. He says, "What is your dream crossover game? Mine would be Earth Defense Force meets Mass Effect. Take the plot structure of Mass Effect trilogy and swap in the insane missions of EDF, and you got an absolute banger." That's his
EDF meets Mass Effect.
That's his dream. That's his dream.
But what is it? More Mass Effect or more? Is it like EDF with good?
It sounds like it plays more like EDF, but the plot structure is Mass Effect. I don't know how that would work.
I mean, you play EDF 6 and you're like, what the fuck? So like, I don't know how you mix it too.
Doesn't that just kind of make it like a Dynasty Warriors game or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Maybe that's.
I mean,
maybe that's unhinged.
Right, EDF is like Dynasty Warriors coded.
It's Dynasty Warriors with guns. Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about his dream crossover. What's your dream crossover? And here
did we have a top 5 or something like this? Probably.
Did we do top 5 crossovers? I don't know. We've done so many top 5
We most
topics.
certainly had.
I think we did like a top 5 licensed adaptations, something like that.
But that's very different.
Yeah, no, back in the day,
yeah.
there's no way we didn't do crossover. There's no fucking way. Can I get a fact check on that? Where's school? School.
I don't know. Oh, guys, I forgot to tell you. I was playing Fatal Frame. I was streaming it past few days. Smiley Alyssa popped in
Oh, good.
to my stream, which was pretty cool. I haven't seen her in a
I
while.
feel like I've seen her pop in here and there. Maybe.
And there was someone else. Who was it? Somebody else popped into our chat while I was playing Fatal Frame, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Corvus? Was it Corvus?
No, it was not. It was not Corvus.
Mortiford?
No, keep going.
Sly T Man?
No.
Hold on.
Somebody in chat.
I got so many of these. Hold on.
Thinking here.
BJ.
Not Joker Girl.
BJ Slim? BJ Slim?
No. MGS Master 2? No, not him either.
MGS 2 Master 2. Get it right. he's the second.
Oh, Sci-Fi Chick popped in. That was cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know. We've seen her.
Yeah, we know Sci-Fi pretty well, so I don't think that's that big of a deal. But it's always great to see her. So
it's great to see anybody pop into a stream these days.
I mean,
right?
That is true. Guys,
you just have to play Fatal Frame apparently.
Yeah.
Like they've always wanted.
I mean, I'll give you an example that's not like my absolute favorite idea, but I would love to play this game.
Why are you saying it?
Because
at least it's something. At least it's something.
Sure.
I'm trying to answer the fucking question, sir.
Do it, Chris Davis.
I'm thinking about an XCOM game crossed over with Stargate. I think that would be really fucking.
We had to have done this podcast because you say that crossover in literally every episode.
No, that's factually incorrect.
That's not true.
Factually incorrect. I'm just saying, take Stargate. All right, so you're building out Cheyenne Mountain as a base.
I feel like I've heard this before.
Yes, I know.
But then you mix it with XCOM, and like it's perfect. It works. It's awesome.
How about
Here's the thing? Like, I don't know if
how about
I have
Star Wars.
What if they did like a Star Trek FTL game?
All right, okay. Some of this is sounding familiar. We can move on to the next question. Sorry, War Dog.
Give me the Yasumi Matsuno Castlevania game.
Our next Dick Slicker question.
A Dark Souls Castlevania.
Yes,
from Funky
literally,
Duck.
I think on that podcast, I think I said that.
From Funky Duck in New Zealand, who is currently playing 1,000 times Resist. All you people trying to make Brad happy. Look at this.
Bitch, it's a 90 on OpenCritic.
I'm kidding. I'm fucking kidding.
It won Game of the Year from everyone who is respectable.
Damn. His question is, being located in Australia and recently having kids, Bluey holds a special place in my heart, and I genuinely think it is a great show. What piece of media that's aimed at children do you think is worth a watch for adults?
Wow.
SpongeBob
should have some. SpongeBob.
Is that how much is?
Yes.
I mean,
oh my god.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't be a fucking.
No. I mean, I was actually about to ask
the first like 2 or 3 seasons of SpongeBob. Come on.
I mean, in my mind,
funny.
Sure, but like in my mind, I've always considered it like a Ren and Stimpy type situation where it's like, this is not made for kids. This is made for adults.
Wait, no, SpongeBob is made for children.
Ren and Stimpy is like made by a pedophile and like is a gross show. Like,
I mean, aren't they all?
Is that
made
real?
by
Really?
pedophiles? I mean,
I didn't know that.
John Kay? Yeah, absolutely. He had
that explains a lot.
He had like a 17-year-old living girlfriend while he was at the height of his fame for Ren and Stimpy. Like, yeah, absolutely.
17, Leo DiCaprio.
That's why he never.
That's barely a pedophile.
I'm sorry, you're right. I think she moved in when she was like 16, but you know,
getting worse.
Yeah, that's why there was never any like the new thing from the guy who made Ren and Stimpy, except for Ren and Stimpy's House Party, which sucked and went away very quickly.
Bog Noise in chat mentions Star Wars Clone Wars, and I do tend to agree with that. Although I think I watched Star Wars. I watched Star Wars Rebels more than Clone Wars, and I think that's, you know,
Rebels was good.
I think Rebels was I think Rebels was fantastic.
I really liked Rebels.
But like, I do think that qualifies because I do think it's probably it was kind of like Clone Wars. It was like it it was created in such a way to like appeal visually to children.
No, Star
think.
Wars is made for children.
That is
okay,
okay.
like
That is a fair
let's be
assessment.
real.
That is a fair assessment. Yeah, I have no comeback to that.
I don't know.
That's accurate.
I mean,
I'm
it's
sure
space
children would have
wizards.
found A New Hope pretty boring. Nick sure did.
Shut the
They did not
Did
in
not.
1977.
Oh, it was pretty hype. Kids, it was a kids thing back then too.
Are you?
I mean,
I've
you were in
lost
your 20s at
some,
the
like,
time.
As
This
someone
was
who
just,
doesn't have kids,
some
I have lost touch with
prequel
like
rewriting of history here.
all of the
prequel
things that
fandom.
immediately come to mind that are like made for
I'm
children
sorry.
are things that were
I'm sorry.
big when I
Like
was a
what?
kid.
What movie franchise is responsible for the modern wave of toy tie-in
He-Man.
industry?
He-Man.
He-Man.
No, I'm just He-Man is bad.
Are you
Shall I watch that
fucking
trailer?
kidding me?
Shall I watch that
G.I.
trailer?
Joe? G.I. Joe? You
G.I.
think
Joe,
G.I.
that's a good
Joe
one.
is what started it in the 80s? You're out of your fucking mind. It
What's
was Star Wars, guys. It was Star Wars.
I think
Star
he
Wars
makes a
was
good-
the first one.
He makes a good point with G.I. Joe, though. Let's be real.
Yeah, G.I. Joe exists to sell toys, but everything existed to sell toys back then because everyone was still chasing Star Wars money.
some would say they're
You're not
still chasing
wrong.
Star Wars money.
Don't G.I. Joes predate Star Wars?
Are you fucking kidding me?
They do, technically speaking, yes.
No, not the
yeah,
cartoon,
like the World
but
War
the
II
toy.
G.I. Joes. did.
Yeah,
Before they
yeah.
like
Yeah.
made a new, completely different toy and called that G.I. Joe,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is what we're
I
talking
have-
about when we talk about toyetic cartoons for kids in the
I have my
80s.
answer. I have my answer, and I don't know if this is in the spirit of the question because this is nothing like Bluey at all. But it is a movie that was apparently
Tarkus-
made for children that is 100% more appealing to adults, and that is The Secret of Nim. That movie is fucked up. It's so
You
good.
can't show that to a child.
I know, but like
No,
it was
you-
positioned as a movie for children. But like
Yeah,
it's
but that's because
legitimately
as children back
horrifying.
then, as a child of the 80s, we were cooler back then.
That is
like
I-
children
Oh.
who don't. I don't know.
Well, that's my answer. God damn it. What's up, Chris?
Watch Toys That Made Us. It's eye-opening. I fucking did. They corroborate what I'm saying. Like, you're out of your fucking mind if you
No,
think this
no.
all started with G.I. Joe.
No. I'm with you, Crispy. I'm
Oh,
with
you
You're right,
Yak
you're
Jack and Chat, you do not show a child Watership Down. You don't. No.
What the fuck
No,
is
no, 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 no.
Watership Down?
Oh,
You don't wanna
guys,
know.
Come on. These are, like... Come on. Like, what are we
Mm-mm.
doing here?
Murdered
Ugh.
bloody rabbits.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Um,
I don't really have a plan here. Want to just
What?
talk about what we've been playing?
We're an hour into this podcast. What do you mean you don't have a plan?
Oh,
We're
are
doing
we-
the
are
same
we
shit we do every
starting-
week.
Are we starting the podcast soon?
Yeah. What you
Yeah,
been playing?
I hope
bro?
I hope y'all are
How's
recording.
Marathon going? Or
Marathon's great. It's really fun. It's a really cool game, and I am lucky enough to like find a good run every once in a while where like I meet chill people and have fun. But like honestly, I feel like I'm hitting a wall with what I can experience without having like a core group of people I normally play with. None of my friends who used to play these kind of games are playing it or play these kind of games anymore. And it kind of sucks to think that like I might have to just walk away from it for a minute and
Nick,
play
you
other
know what you
stuff.
need to do.
I mean, that is kind of the downfall, or not downfall, the downside of being into this style of game is that
he completely ignored what Chris Davis just said.
I know what Chris Davis is implying, but I'm also
He's
listen,
asking
bitch.
you to play the video
Look,
game
Nick
that
is
you
not
own.
the answer to my prayers, guys. I know
Yeah,
that.
we
Okay.
we know.
I'm just saying it extends the life just a little bit.
No, I'm still gonna play it when I every once in a while, and probably when updates hit and new.
You gotta
seasons
get
start and
Carlos
shit
up in
like
that
but
bitch. Carlos will play some marathon
Man.
with you, probably.
Whatever
Will he,
happened
though?
to Carlos?
Yeah, what happened
What-
to Carlos? Whatever
Wait, did
happened
something
to
happen to Carlos?
You know, he asked me to play some Slay the Spire multiplayer with him, and I said, "LOL, no." But like, I'll play now. I mean, the game just came out. I was learning the game and playing it. But Crispy, what do you say? Me, you, Carlos, 3-player Slay the Spire 2. You in?
Buddy, I'm playing it right now.
I believe that.
Oh,
I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
I
down.
streamed it.
Let's do it. I'm still curious
Let's-
as to how that's supposed to work.
Dude, I know how it works now, and it's really cool. It's
let's
really
finish
cool.
this podcast so we can get back to doing the really important things like playing video games.
Good point. How's Crimson Desert going? I've been
Dude, that game is weird.
I
Okay,
know,
we
but is
established
it
that last
good?
week.
Is it good?
I just found out that the jetpack is only for the orc guy, and like that really
I also found out it's only like
that really
5 seconds of
let the air out of my tire.
jetpacking or something.
They've released several updates to Crimson Desert over the past
I'm playing
like-
Marathon. Don't
like
worry.
3 or
I'm
4
still
different
playing
versions.
Marathon.
But like they've been addressing a lot of these issues, and I know one of the updates that they released recently addressed some of the complaints about the jetpack. But I also don't have the jetpack, so I can't really speak to that.
Anybody have a
Yeah.
dragon in the game yet?
Dude, I still feel
No.
like I'm doing
Dude, I'm in,
early
like,
game shit,
chapter
and I'm
4.
35 hours in or something.
Yeah, I'm also only like 40 hours in, and I'm in chapter 4,
Yeah.
and like I'm only still kind of just starting the game, and like I'm at the point now where it's like, okay, all right, this is cool. When do I get my mech? And like apparently I don't get my mech for a while. Like I'm starting.
It
to
is
get-
definitely a game that is going to require a lot of patience to get to the things that we all want to get
I'm
to.
seriously considering just kind of like
Mainlining it.
no, putting it away for a minute and then like playing Monster Hunter Stories 3. Like
I mean, that's
Well, like Crimson Desert is a game that seems like it's going to be way better like 6 months from now.
yeah, probably. It seems
Well, I mean,
like
it's also
if you buy it at the end of the year on sale,
Yeah.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, how come more people didn't talk about this? This is crazy!" Like,
I'm probably
Yeah.
not going to plan on talking about it again on the podcast until I do something significant like fly a dragon. Or
I will say, I haven't had a lot of time to play any video games this last week. It's just work, just other
Yeah.
unrelated stuff. But every time I have had a chance to sit down and put more than like 30 minutes into it, like if I could actually like sit down and play it, and I start just like wandering around, I found like fucking crazy cool shit. Like
Yeah.
like stuff is still really cool and surprising me at a pretty regular clip in this game.
I still want to
But-
play it. Gameplay, they won't give it up.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
assumed that a lot of people would have sent it back to Gamefly by now because it wasn't what they were expecting or something, but nope.
Maybe
don't
they don't
think
have
that's-
that many copies, and then like most of the copies they do have found their way into it.
I don't really
hands
think that's
of
the
people who
narrative
are
though with this game.
Absolute
I think
sickos.
We have some
I think
passionate people in our community, but some people like it's definitely like some people are really into it and some people are it wasn't what they wanted or were expecting. A lot of it I think has to do with the fact that I think you have to play it a lot to get to some of the juicier
You do.
stuff.
Yeah,
And
I mean
there are
that's
certainly people that
that
are
is
not going
the-
to fuck with that.
that is the 10,000-foot view of what we just said, which is
Yeah,
is just like,
is that like it doesn't go from like a cool game to like an amazing game after a lot of play. It goes from like a bad game to like a really cool game. So you have to like start playing a bad game
But I will
and
be
play
honest.
that
I
game
don't
for a minute, and then you're like, okay, this is.
I don't think I've ever had like in like the 30 plus hours I've spent with it so far, like I don't think I've ever had the thought of like this is bad. You know what I mean? Like
some of those
it's all been
fights early
varying
on before you like level shit up. Really?
I mean I enjoy the physicality of the combat enough that like
Well, yeah,
I have fun
do
with it
too.
when I
now
engage
that
with
I
it.
have like all the abilities that are.
Do
really
you know
fun
what's
to
making me
use.
really weirdly anxious about Crimson Desert, which is a game I've been very interested in,
Yeah.
but I just don't have a copy of, is that the game was sold really well out the gate. And
Yeah.
it was really like it was on like the SEO, like people were hungry for Crimson Desert info. And
Right.
because of that, like your typical like Rage Gamings and stuff, were like putting out a video a day, and there's just so much shit that they just churn out of like, you got to do this, you got to get this, you got to get that, and it's like you got to do this build, and a lot of that isn't actually like quality stuff. It's just done in a hurry, right? So now I'm like, I like looking up that stuff, but not when it's like bullshit. And I'm worried that there's such a sea of rushed out like video content about
yeah.
like the top 10 tips. And like I want to seek out like a good guide or video about that stuff, but I want it to actually be good and valuable like when I get to
Dude,
playing this months from now, and I'm
dude,
worried that I'm just not going to be able to find it.
let me
I'm
let me
worried
let
that
me
it's just
listen.
all going to be fluff and
Okay, okay.
bullshit.
Okay. Let me say that like what you're describing is a phenomenon that I kind of had a hard time putting into words until just now hearing you describe it. That's what this is. Like I don't think I've played one of these games where there were more like just a higher saturation of just like not helpful like things I wish I knew before I started Crimson Desert game like videos, you know?
They're
Like
just
the
making
the
money.
amount of these like the amount of these videos I'm getting suggested and watching where they're like, "Oh, you should do this in Crimson Desert," is all just like either I know all
And like none of
this
them agree with each other.
or it's not necessarily something you should do. It's like, oh, this is the really weird way this is how this system works. So like, don't progress past this point, or don't do this. Like don't engage with this system because it doesn't work right, or like make sure you do like, yeah, I don't know. Like
I know
it
what you're
feels
talking
like
about.
there's a lot of slop, like a
There's a lot
lot
of
of
like,
like,
get this OP weapon. I saw
yeah,
Fighting Cowboy kind of calling out some of that nonsense of like, look, all those videos that say get this OP weapon, get this OP armor set. It's actually not. None of that stuff's actually good. Like
I
this is
just
like a fashion Souls game. Just pick armor that looks good because none of that shit
yeah.
really matters. Like the only thing that's actually kind of OP is this one like bow and arrow thing he said. Everything else is just kind of whatever.
There are a lot of cool weapons that have just like weird optional abilities that are really neat, but
It
yeah,
reminds me of Elden
I
Ring
don't think
Ashes,
any of
right?
them are better. I mean, the ashes I think kind of became more of a thing because there was the whole PvP element to the game. So people had like there were good ashes and bad ashes. I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything good or bad in this game. Um like you're saying, like I totally agree with that. I don't think any like new weapon I've gotten has been like I don't think it really mattered, and I have been playing it very Fashion Souls like. Um, Also, I've been hearing rumblings that like later in the game, when you're getting like really cool features, it's like there's hard the world is just a big bucket of enemies, and like as you play the game and kill them, they're
Oh,
not like getting replaced.
yeah, they don't come back.
And then you're just like, okay, I haven't fought anybody for like 5 hours, so what does it matter if I have a really cool sword?
Yeah, I
What does
saw
it
that.
Is that
matter if I
true?
have a
Yeah,
They
that's
don't
what
come
I
back?
heard.
well, like they spawn from like camps and shit. So if you start like liberating all these different
Yeah.
camps and like then they're not coming from anywhere. Then there's just not, and the map's huge. So like if you start clearing out a whole area of the map, then it's like you have to go a pretty far way before you're like being threatened by
It's such a
anybody.
weird oversight, but it makes sense for a
That's probably
developer
going to be
that's used to
addressed.
making like MMOs where you're not just killing camps over and over again
Also,
or
they're
whatever.
like, "Oh, you should upgrade your camp almost all the way, but don't finish upgrading your camp because the final upgrade is not an upgrade. It's like, oh, you now own a city, but it turns out owning a city sucks because now everybody's like all over a city instead of standing next to each other in a camp,
Yeah,
which
messy.
yeah,
It's
I don't
messy.
know.
Messy, messy, messy.
I
You
don't
get
know.
to
So
own a
like
city? That's
no, like
crazy.
Pyloon, like eventually Payloon or whatever, the
Yeah.
city you come from, eventually you're supposed to like rebuild it and then repopulate it. I mean, you know what I mean. Like move
I do.
there. Like
Interesting.
um
Interesting.
yeah, there's a
Maybe I
lot
want to
of
play this
stuff.
game.
A lot of the knowledge that I learn about the game is like, yeah, don't maybe play it too hard, Don't play too don't
There's some
go
people in our community though that really like
Oh, there's people that are
Dano
already
and like
100 hours over.
Jaeger and Prince.
Yeah.
Like they really clicked with the game. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know where I'm at.
I mean, it's a clickable game. It's not
But
like
I don't think any of them have finished either.
Y'all being the
Nobody's
where
finished
y'all
this
are
game.
at after saying y'all played for like 40 hours scares the shit out of me.
I have
'Cause,
2
you know,
achievements.
Yeah, dude.
I don't
Two.
know, it seems exhausting because I played like 40 hours of Neo. Actually, Neo 3. Actually, I played more than that, and like that entire time was like engaging the tingles in my Neo loving brain. I don't want to play that much waiting for something cool to happen, or something truly hyped to happen.
Look.
There's cool stuff happening like all the time though. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you ask me, I feel like I never would have. This is not a game I would have necessarily pegged as a Brad game. Primarily just because I think it does require.
That's
No,
horrifying to hear.
You don't like.
I know.
cool-
I mean, I'm not trying. I'm just trying to be realistic here. Like it is a game that like feels like it's made for people who just like to get like lost in
the sauce.
open spaces and
Yeah,
I don't know.
like what?
I don't know how to like. I feel like
I
like,
was the one
the
peddling this
impatience
game
that
to
you
y'all.
display, the
In Taylor
impatience
Talk
you
for
constantly
years.
display when talking about like Red Dead Redemption, just tells me that you would not
Okay,
like.
so
this.
I like Red Dead Redemption.
Well, I know, but you bitch about
1
it a
and
lot.
2. Okay, and I've heard that comparison, right? Like where, like if you get frustrated with some of the slow stuff in like Red Dead Redemption 2, you might get frustrated here. The difference is, I hear they're constantly patching this game to make it less annoying.
Yeah,
Well,
And
they
they
are.
certainly
They
didn't
are.
do that in
The-
Red Dead Redemption.
I don't think it's
But I
fair
don't think
to say
they
that in
wanted to
Red.
do that in Red Dead.
I don't think it's fair to compare it to Red Dead because in Red Dead it genuinely feels like an artistic choice. It's like, oh, they were really going for something here.
Yeah,
In this game, it feels like
a mistake.
Yeah, like oh, they just made a game that's supposed to have like 9,000 people in it and not one. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
a weird game.
hate.
We could have
Is it
been.
weird?
We could
I
have been
hate-
rolling footage this
I hate
entire
the
time.
tone of this
We're not
conversation.
rolling footage?
because
No.
it's really fun.
Can I ask you something real quick? Let's wrap this up.
Here
But
you go.
is it weird and different enough to like make it like a compelling,
That's
like an
Marathon.
interesting game to pick up on?
Oh,
But
fuck yeah.
like, should I play this game
Is that-
because it's like
oh.
unusual enough?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an
think
interesting game, but I
there's
don't think you'll
enough to
ever
talk
finish
about.
it.
There's enough to talk about for sure. There's enough to be like, wow, this was a thing that happened.
I could
Like,
see
I like-
Brad playing this for like 50 hours and then never touching it again.
I like Dragon's Dogma. Well,
I
mean,
don't
that's plenty of games.
think someone who plays the games you play, Brad, should be left out of the conversation on this game.
okay.
Of course.
I think you should play it.
Okay. Is
I'll
it
be
more like
interested to
Dragon's
hear.
Dogma or more like Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
It's more like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But
No.
if Assassin's Creed Valhalla was like really cool. It's Assassin's Creed Valhalla in that like not that it was an idea that was like packaged and refined and sanded smooth and turned into just like mush and slop out
Okay.
the gate. It's like people had a really crazy idea and their like grasp exceeded their reach. And that's kind of
I
what made
like
it
stuff
feel.
like that. The first Nier was like, yo, what are y'all doing?
That's what this is. It's like
I mean, at
what
the
are
end of
you
the day,
guys
at the end of
doing?
at the end of
what?
2026, I think there's no escaping the fact like this is going to be one of the most interesting games to kind of like look back on and talk about over the course of the year because I think it's just wildly ambitious and
Do you
at the
like
same
Elden
time,
Ring and
incredibly
Breath of the
weird.
Wild?
Oh, it's like Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild.
It's like
two of the
Elden
best
Ring and Tears
video
of the
games ever
Kingdom,
made.
basically. But like if those games were sevens. Like,
Dude, that
Okay.
sounds appealing. Honestly.
that's what it is, man. It's weird. Like it's
The
weird.
7.0 Elden Ring meets Breath
No,
of the
this
Wild.
is like a 7.5 for sure.
Oh,
like
okay,
there's a
okay.
little
I
bit
don't
of
know.
spice here. There's a little bit
Okay,
of
okay.
there's a little bit of like, wow, it's crazy that you didn't put any effort into the story or characters, but like
I don't
what
give
a
a shit.
strange
I'm-
idea you've got like kind of dangling
if-
over here. Like
This might sound mean, but if you've been following Crimson Desert and you looked at that game, any of the trailers of the game, whatever, you had any knowledge about Crimson Desert, and you thought that that was going to be a game with a compelling story or characters, that I don't think you understand video games.
no, I I was the only one who was really excited about this game for a while. And I
But
thought
not for
it
the
could.
story.
I feel like
right?
Brad just
Yeah.
insulted. I feel like that was aimed at me somehow.
No, because I don't think you were expecting that either.
I mean, but here's the thing: even though this is like this story is not super amazing or anything, like it still holds my attention when a cutscene is playing and story stuff is happening. I am locked in and I'm paying attention. I am not like skipping cutscenes or blasting past
But
dialogue.
that's such a backhanded like compliment. It holds my attention. Like as you're literally someone who's like never skipped a cutscene in your life. What does that mean? I get what you're saying, but it sounds a little.
I do not hate the story in this game.
No,
but
I don't.
There's not enough of it there to like.
That's my point, Nick. I don't hate the story either. There is no story. It's literally like you and your drinking buddies like meeting up and
I just kind of assumed
camp.
I just kind of assumed like the actual conflict of the game hasn't truly started yet. I'm finally starting to like see a villain emerging and like some of that stuff is starting to happen.
I think y'all are gonna run into the issue. Are you like you're like, oh, I feel like it's 50 hours in. I still feel like I'm in the tutorial. I think that is the entire length of the game.
Yeah.
It's not gonna build to anything, and it's gonna feel like that until you're done playing.
That's fair. All right, we need to move on.
Yes.
Chris Davis, I know you have a new game you wanted to talk about. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. He does?
Oh,
he does.
Yeah. Why are we talking about our bullshit? Finally, Peglin.
Happened?
Let's go.
Peglin.
So
I've never.
The Peglin reference ain't that far off, but let me.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm writing down the timestamp so I know how to.
Be?
Okay, so.
What have I done?
Have you all ever heard of a game called Vampire Survivors?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little.
I'm gonna go
take
a shit.
Yeah, go ahead and take a shit. So there's been a ton of clones of that, and this is kind of that, but it's got an interesting thing about it.
Wait, you have footage?
This is called Net.Attack.
Why didn't he start with this?
I don't know.
Y'all were.
That's my fault.
Yeah, Nick is the host. He directs this shit, okay?
Yeah, blame me.
Yeah, let's blame Nick. So this is a Vampire Survivors like. It's you go across a map and you let tons of enemies come right at you. You don't shoot them. The game shoots for you, and you just try to live.
We know. Everyone's played.
You know what a Vampire Survivors like.
Except Nick.
So
but yeah, everybody else.
Except me. I genuinely didn't know the game shoots for you.
Oh,
shut the fuck! That can't be right. That can't be
no.
What?
Don't
what?
you lie?
Do you remember the crash out I had about this game when I first played it?
Vaguely.
Okay.
That was a major feature.
All right. So this game, this is very much one of those Formula games, but the thing that stands out for it, because it doesn't have a real good art style, it doesn't have enemy variety, it doesn't have really good maps or anything like that. It's not even like meta progression that I think is really good. The interesting thing about it is that it is a game in which you build out your attack profile and the weapons you use in programming language. It's visualized to where you are moving modules around a grid of instructions based on a millisecond time tracking, and you can create triggers for causing things to happen. You can create loops. You can create multipliers for creating those loops, and you can do all sorts of kind of interesting programming fun here. Like in this example here, I have 3 triggers to start. So every
It's actually a good idea.
It actually really is. It's so for example, in the first row, I've got like 4 different attacks happening. And I can move them around freely and program them as I see fit. So I've got it to where my first attack, if it hits an enemy, it activates a second attack. And then that triggers a third attack. And if there's a kill, it triggers a fourth attack. And it's all millisecond based, and it builds up. And you can create these combos of abilities that visually are not interesting. I will be right with you with that. This game is not interesting to look at. It's not interesting to listen to. But
I think it looks
the
better than
power-
Vampire Survivors.
That's mean. But the power
That's
curve
true.
and growth in this and the freedom the player has in building that up is actually kind of cool. And there is a level of discovery going on. Like, I just discovered a new ability in this level that I was playing earlier today. The core loop is you go around the map. You have 7 layers of a map you have to do. It's the same map layout every time, but the meta progression of collecting dark chips, quote unquote, to use as your currency to buy permanent upgrades. Is you go to a spot on the map and you just stay on that gold tile for a little bit, and boom, you get extra cash. So, but the idea that every 90 seconds to 2 minutes, the map starts to close in on you, like an extraction, blue zone thing. The circles closes in on you, and you have to extract as soon as possible. And it also just starts spawning tons of dudes and just does not stop until you're either dead or you escape to the next layer of the run. It's kind of cool. I like the ideas that they're doing with this. I love the idea of being able to purchase a loop function that can do all sorts of things. It's all based on triggers and timing combinations.
What was that game that used? It was like a puzzle game where you use coding.
You're talking about like the 2D boy game or whatever, like the
Hypnospace
World of
Outlaw?
Goo people.
Oh, maybe
The
I
World
don't
of
know.
Goo people.
What was the game called? That would be helpful.
Quadrilateral
Wait, but I don't.
Cowboy.
They made multiple ones of those actually. Can you describe?
No,
it
yeah.
more?
Something it's like a big number. It's like a
Yeah.
fuck.
They made 2 of those. The
Yeah, I just can't remember what the fuck they're called. Not
Quadrilateral Cowboy.
Not
Quadrilateral
Quadrilateral Cowboy. That's
That's
a
a
very
coding
different
one.
game. But also, I think what I'm trying to say though, I like the idea of using coding principles as like mechanics in
Yeah.
games. I think it's a cool idea. And
yeah,
most
there's
of the time
there's a
when
lot of those honestly though these days.
and most of the
Games
ones
from
that
the
I've tried have been
Tomorrow
pretty cool.
Corporation. There's 2 of them that have been talked about on the podcast. One is Human Resource Machine, and the other one is 7 Billion Humans.
7 Billion Humans is the one I
Okay.
was thinking of,
I remember that name.
which was pretty cool. I like
They're
that
the
game.
same. It's just a sequel to the first one, but yes,
Yeah.
they're both cool.
But yeah, this is I really like the concept of this. I wish it looked better. I wish the music was
Dude,
better.
what
Stop
is
saying that.
what
Stop
what
saying
is the player character? Like from here, like watching the footage, that reminds me of that fucking animatronic thing from Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know why.
So this is the first unlockable character that you have in the game. His name's Eddie, and he's a duck. It's a character avatar.
It is a duck. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was losing my mind. I was like, it looks like a fucking animatronic from Five Nights at Freddy's, but a duck.
And like standard Vampire Survivors, each character that you unlock has special starters, special combinations for abilities to trigger things like that. I think this is kind of cool in concept.
How did you end up playing this? This is just kind of random.
I played a Steam Next Fest demo several months ago. And it came
Next Fest gotcha, huh?
Yeah. I mean, hey, Next Fest, you can find
that's the
some really
point.
cool stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's of that I have no doubt. There's lots of cool stuff on there.
Yeah, like, for example, right here. So I just got a node that does a split action. So once it is triggered, it'll do 2 things instead of 1 without necessarily weighing down that much the original trigger node. So the millisecond time doesn't build up nearly as much. But in doing so, I can also take the previous children nodes in the chain that are giving me buffs, like 1.5x damage for an action, and use that to really boost my firepower. It's things like that. You can build up lots of healing stacks that you can do. There's AoE attacks. There's one thing I haven't really mastered yet is there's an infection mode in which you get these modules that do damage over time, and I haven't quite figured out how to get that damage to exponentially grow, but it can. I just need to have that right luck scenario of, oh, this module became available. I have the money to purchase this. Let me plug this into my grid. So
there's an element of randomness to it.
no,
sounds
yeah,
like,
it definitely
right?
is. You're doing a lot of re-rolls. You're trying to kill bosses so you can get re-rolls and unlock things. Sometimes you'll just be given nodes freely, and whenever you finish a layer and go on to the next layer, you get a free node for one of 3 options to start. But you can increase the meta progression permanently by, I think, 2 more extra nodes to choose from that are just free. It's cool. I like the concept of this.
You gonna
It's
play that
just ugly,
Warhammer
as he
Survivors
said.
game when that comes out?
I mean, yeah, I want to play that.
Are you, Brad? Are you gonna play it?
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of good Survivors likes out there. I don't really have a adoration for Warhammer or anything.
Yeah, but the thing about Warhammer games in general, like, there's a metric fuck ton of them. The worst you can normally say about them is it's mediocre.
Yeah, I don't want to
There's
play
a lot of bad
mediocre.
ones.
Brad ain't got time for mediocre.
There's a
I
lot of
understand.
I mean,
bad
I'm
ones.
saying there's a lot of really cool Survivor likes out there.
Yeah. But-
bullet heaven games.
Yeah.
Like with cool gimmicks and cool art styles that I like and stuff.
I think that if this game gets a sequel, or
Have
this
you
developer
seen
does
Megamon?
real well with the sequel, or with this game, I think that the sequel will be really fucking cool.
Oh, that's
Well,
kind of
I mean,
That's how it goes.
granted,
Yeah.
I've
damning
only
with faint praise.
look. I've only
Damning with
played.
faint praise.
I've only played one character. I've only played about 6 hours of this game. So I haven't done a whole lot. But I really, really like the concept. This is smartly done.
Can I?
All right, that's
and we'll end
Net.Attack.
this Survivors conversation with the thing that I still think is the most obvious thing in the world is that Blizzard should make a mode for Diablo 4 that's just this. Like, you have the assets that people like to look at. Make or they have too much artistic integrity or something. Make a Survivors game.
Yeah,
Just do that.
They're too
Like-
good.
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
How many
The world may never
franchises
know.
are under the Xbox label now that could make a good Survivors game?
Okay.
Oh, you're saying Xbox branded Survivors?
Yeah,
Like
because
literally anything. Like do anything.
Blizzard is owned
Like-
by Xbox.
Oh, thanks for reminding me. What does that have to do with anything?
I'm just saying. If you go just beyond Blizzard, like, there's so many franchises that fucking company, that
Yeah.
mega conglomerate
Yeah.
could.
But I mean, whatever. I mean, do a Pikmin one. You could literally pick your favorite franchise. It would be sick.
Did I see something about Pikmin, like a new Pikmin game in development, or did I dream that?
Nate the Hate mentioned that Pikmin 4 is going to get some sort of update for the
Oh.
Switch 2. I
Like
think.
an
Maybe.
expansion
not
or
bad.
Switch 2
That's
version.
not
Yeah.
that important. That reminds me, I never.
I
finished
mean, how about
4.
Pikmin in the Mario Galaxy movie?
They're in there.
Maybe.
Okay, guys. Is there before we wrap up, anything else we want to squeeze in? We did say we were going to talk a little bit about Fantasy Critic, but we talked a lot about Crimson Desert.
We could talk about something.
I mean,
we can talk about that next week.
I did want to mention 2 other things. Next week I will be talking about Life is Strange Reunion, because I haven't finished that yet. And there's some kind of interesting stuff they're doing there I like. But then again, full disclosure, I love that franchise, so like
We know.
take it with a grain of salt. The other thing
Are you part
is-
of the toxic fandom?
toxic fandom? No,
Who thinks
I
that
like this.
Chloe
franchise.
and Max are the only important part of that universe?
That's factually incorrect.
Okay, good.
Good answer.
No. God, no. It's a good universe. No, the other thing I was going to mention is that I started playing through a extraction shooter called Incursion Red River. It is a
fuck are you doing with your free time, Chris Davis?
I just hey, look, this is something I've been having on my radar for a while. And
Okay.
it is a single player and co-op extraction shooter. It's in early access. It feels like it's in early access. It pissed me the fuck off the other night because it doesn't understand the concept of player insurance, which is like a backbone of Tarkov likes. So when
Player
you die, you
insurance?
lose every fucking thing, and I hate it. And I want to play this game in 3 years. The other thing was that I finally, last week, got to try out playing through BioRand, which is really cool.
What?
BioRand,
Making shit up.
Chris Davis.
BioRand is a community mod project for the original, a bunch of Resident Evil games right now, in which they randomize all the elements of a particular Resident Evil game, the character models, the items you
Is that
find,
why you were
enemy
playing
encounters.
Resident Evil 3 the other night?
Randomizer, yes.
Yeah, it's a randomizer. That's why I was playing Resident Evil 3 with the BioRand randomizer. I had everything switched up. There were so many cool things about this. Also some very cruel things. Like maybe
That's what randomizers do.
let me put it this way. The game was a little generous with C class gunpowder. So I could make a lot of Magnum bullets. So by the end of the game, I had 72 Magnum bullets. But I did
So
not
you were
get
basically just invincible.
But I did not get a Magnum until like the second to last room of the game. So like, fuck you. And there was also a couple rooms in which I fought 3 nemesises with rocket launchers. One of which was a fucking corridor room, which was insane. But anyway,
some might call it a murder of Nemesis.
oh my, maybe, yeah. But it was also
Nemesis.
cool that like I was able to skip 2 boss fights because I was able to find items that progressed me further along. I didn't have to fight either Gravedigger, for example. So I don't know. It was cool. It was really cool. It's available for RE 1, 2, and 3. There's also versions for 2 make, and they're working on one for 4 make, which is really cool.
We're not really calling them 2 make and 4 make, are we? That's not.
You know exactly what he was talking about.
I do know what he's talking about, but I don't endorse that language.
I love it.
What do you want to call
saying
it?
2
Resident
make.
Evil 2 remake? Resident Evil 4 remake?
I like 2 make. 4 make doesn't really roll off the tongue the same
No,
way,
it doesn't. But none
but
of
2
them.
make is
really
sick.
I hate this. All right.
Anyway,
Guys,
that's it. That was really cool.
Before we wrap up with the 4-player minute, I do feel like I need to at least talk about this. Chris Davis, do you have Fatal Frame footage available
Oh,
Yeah, I've got load
on
up.
hand? Just roll it for a second. I'm not going to talk at length about.
I thought you had
this.
another moist maker.
No. So I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because I have streamed it like 4 times since last podcast. I'm like 10 hours into the remake. I'm chapter 7, I think, 7 of 9. So it's been so long since I
7
played
of
this
9.
game, but I'm having a fucking great time. I talked about it more last time that we recorded. So if you want more in-depth impressions, maybe go back and listen to that. But I just, been having a ton of fun. And the cool, like, I didn't realize, like, this kind of tells you like how disconnected I feel like I've been from this franchise for so long. I was sitting here thinking, constantly being like, how much did they actually change with this? I know they've added new features, new mechanics and stuff, but like I can't recall like how the game looked or how like it differs from like PS2 to Wii to the PS5. And I finally looked at like a comparison video of all 3 of them, and I'm like, guys, I fucking forgot that Fatal Frame 1 and 2 were fucking tank controls. I forgot the camera was not over the shoulder. It didn't even occur to me that was an option. So like I'm watching footage of Fatal Frame 2 on the PS2 and being like, holy fuck, I forgot. And this remake just plays like having the camera over the shoulder, just kind of like, it's one of those things that makes like the game smoother to play and like less like you're not constantly having to fight the awkward camera angles with the tank controls. The directions change every time the camera changes and that kind of thing. You're not having to battle any of that awkwardness. so like, and then when you add on like all the other extra stuff that they've added on top of it, like I'm having fun playing a Fatal like a genuine, honest to God, fun playing Fatal Frame. Which I
That
feel like
can't be
I
true.
used to just be a ball of I used to be a ball of stress playing these games. And people can attest. I've been playing this thing and I've just been blowing through it and having a great time. I did get spooked by the ghost kid in the window last night, which got me pretty good. So there are a few clips that have come from this stream, and maybe hopefully we can get those on YouTube here in the next couple days. But just shout out
It's
to
old
everybody
school. Old school.
yeah, it is old school. It does feel interesting playing this game again. It reminds me
I
how
mean,
much I like this
uploading a
franchise.
clip to YouTube.
Yes. I mean, we talked about wanting to get back into streaming periodically because we haven't really been doing a lot of it outside of the podcasts. But
I'm gonna be
like,
streaming some Pokopia this weekend.
yeah, Brad's gonna be streaming some Pokopia. So we'll try and start getting some of these clips out on YouTube if we can. But shout out to everybody who showed up in the streams to hang out while I played. Even some like I said earlier, some old faces that I haven't seen in a while. It was very cool. And thanks to everybody who took the time to clip some of these moments out, so that it just kind of makes it easier for us to get those. It shortens the distance between Twitch and getting them onto our YouTube page. Hopefully, we can get kind of a process going here. So if you're watching one of us stream and something cool or funny happens, please clip it out and then post the link in our Twitch Clips channel in Discord. But anyways, that's all I'll say about that. Fatal Frame 2 Remake, still pretty badass. Okay, let's wrap up with the 4-player minute. Final thoughts for the evening. You know how this works. Brad, go.
I'm just gonna wrap up by saying that I want to fight everyone who turned on Dragon's Dogma 2. I want to fight y'all. Y'all are the reason video games are bad. Also,
Turned on, like played it? Supported it?
they've been some
No, turned on.
Oh,
Turned
turned on. Like
Turned
turned
against.
against it.
Sneaky snakes betrayed
Yeah.
it.
Gotcha.
I think an expansion for this still exists. There maybe have been some teases, but not really. Well, only one really, and it may have not actually been a tease. But I feel like if an expansion or DLC, whatever, for Dragon's Dogma 2 exists, I feel like we'd have to find out about it soon. I'm gonna call my shot. There's a state of play next week, according to leakers.
You think that's the place?
What if boom?
A Dragon's
Dogma 2 expansion announcement next week. Check your local Famitsu in the papers, whatever, yada yada. Whatever Kami used to say when anyone would ask where's the blank. Yeah. Don't.
All right. Cool.
That's all I want to say. I love Dragon's Dogma and fuck all you, and I think it's coming and I want it. I want it so badly. Because it's a great game and it deserves people to revisit it. I don't know.
All right. Cool. Chris Davis, final thoughts?
Nick, you go first.
Me? Okay, Crispy, you go next.
What? Why do I?
I go last.
What
I
Fuck
always
is
go
wrong
last.
with y'all?
Okay. Oh, No Man's Sky added Pokemon to their game.
What? That's right.
There was
Yeah.
a new update for No Man's Sky, and it's just to add Pokemon. Like, you can now capture and battle little guys.
Of course.
Little dudes. So it's like, this is one of the twice a year that I have to reinstall No Man's Sky, I guess, and see what's up, you know?
It's mandatory.
Is there going to be a
Gotta check it out.
documentary about this dude one day? Like, it's not normal, right?
What do you mean
Like,
it's not normal?
it's unhealthy. Like, what happened?
think-
like,
I think-
like he got owned so hard. He's like, no, I'm going to show you all. I'm going to show you all. And everyone at the studio is probably like, we showed him. It's fine. We showed
And
him.
he
We can
won't
make new
stop
games.
showing
we can,
him.
we can sell new things, whatever.
But
It's
they
like,
are
no,
making
no,
a new
no,
game. They
I
are
have not-
making. They're doing all
I
this and
know,
making
I
a different
know,
game.
I know, but you know what I'm saying. Let it go. It's fine. Let it go.
Oh,
We
shut
get it.
up. Just
We
shut
get
up. No, keep.
It's obsessive.
Keep-
He's like the
keep
dude
making,
from fucking
keep
Zodiac
designing.
or something, man. It's like a David Fincher movie. Okay, let it go.
Yeah, and like, he's losing his goddamn mind, and we're all we're all reaping the rewards.
But it's unhealthy. No, is no one worried about?
What do you mean? He's
what's his-
probably owns like 2 houses now or something.
He probably. He's probably living in a tent, man. He probably spent all his money. to
I'm
get-
sure he would sleep in his office if it came to that, right?
Yeah, sure,
Like,
sure, probably.
his nice big old office.
He
All
probably
right, Chris Davis, you
refuses
ready?
to-
I guess I am.
You're intimidated by true artists.
That's weird.
Go, Chris. Go.
My final thought is that so I'm playing through Life is Strange Reunion. I'm gonna finish that this next week and talk about it on the next show next week. But I'm kind of feeling that itch again to start playing a JRPG, like a JRPG ass
Here it
JRPG.
comes.
I
What's it
don't
gonna
know
be
what I'm
this
going.
time?
I don't know what I'm going to play. I'm going to find something, and
You've
then
had to have thought about it already. Like, there's a few options you're probably like leaning towards.
I have
right?
I have thoughts, but I don't have anything that I put dollars to. But I'm going to start figuring that out, and I may report back in May with a JRPG ass JRPG.
Be some whack ass shit, dude. It's gonna be like remember the JRPG about Chopin on the 360?
Eternal Sonata.
Yeah, he's gonna play like Eternal Sonata or some shit.
Hey,
Eternal
Sonata's
Sonata is a
pretty cool.
good game. To be fair, I like that game.
I baited you. This is proof you only give a shit about Xbox JRPGs, you motherfucker.
Wow. Yeah, he
That's
did get
rude.
you there.
That's rude.
I mean, if Lost
Anything else
Odyssey
you wanna
wasn't
add?
on an Xbox, would you have played it?
Shut
mean,
up, Brad. Don't take the bait.
back-
Don't take the bait. Anything
not
else you
gonna-
want to throw in there, Chris Davis?
No, other than the fact that Ace Combat 8 is everything in my life right now. I want that so bad, and I'm chomping at the bit for it. No, nothing else there.
Show us your blue dragon tattoo. Show us.
I don't own Blue Dragon.
That's shocking,
That's hard
actually.
to believe, actually. That's crazy.
All right, my final thought for the week. Well, that time of the year is now approaching, and I'm going to become that guy again. I apologize.
No.
Dexter cameras start rolling in less than a week.
My God,
and-
there's so much Dexter. That's crazy.
And they've started making casting announcements for season 2.
Oh yeah, I
and
saw
Brian Cox
Brian
is,
Cox. Yeah.
is in it, and Uma Thurman's coming back, which is exciting because everybody really liked her character in the first season, and
She was in it.
I was kind of
Okay.
worried she was going to be a one and done, but she looks like she's going
That's
to be
kind
kind
of a
of a
weird-
recurring character.
Weird wrap up to her character.
It was, I mean, but people, I think they ended up liking her character so much that they didn't want to like ice her out of being able to come back, so they did what they did, and now she's coming back, so that's exciting. But yeah, cameras start rolling very, very soon, and I'm gonna be that guy talking about Dexter in Discord a lot, so you know where to find me.
How many Dexter shows are there now that are currently in production?
Shows or seasons?
Shows.
There would be 4,
That
but
no.
but 2 of them are one season only.
I'm talking about
So-
shows that are in production right now.
Oh, one, just one.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say like that would be insane if there was 4 Dexter
Yeah.
shows going on. For
There was gonna be 2. They canceled one. Everybody's still pissed about it, myself included. But yeah, they've narrowed it all down to 1, and that's the one they're going forward with. They're going forward with the Michael C. Hall one because let's be honest, that's the one everybody wants. And I don't blame them. So, anyways, that's it. That's our show this week, guys. We did it all in one segment. Woo! Thanks for tuning
One
in.
segment show.
It's one segment show. We'll be back next week as usual to talk about games. You know, April has some cool, exciting games coming, but they all come out like second half of the month, which is kind of annoying. So we have some cool stuff coming down the pipe. I know Mouse PI for Hire, Replaced, Saros, Pragmata, a lot of cool stuff coming later in the year, or in the month. So anyways, in the meantime, you can find us, of course, at Discord at discord.gg/4player. You can find all of our 2025 Game of the Year videos up on 4playernetwork.com. And what?
I
What was
said
that?
.com.
.com. Yeah, we'll catch you next week. In the meantime, be good to each other, play video games, and good night.